Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Don't Forget to Tap. This is Chris talking about and documenting all things as it relates to the white belt experience, the white belt journey, and just getting absolutely smashed in the process, but trying to learn as much as I can so I can apply the stuff that I learned on the mats to off the mats. Anyway, so I went to class last night and absolutely got smashed in, got destroyed, all that good stuff and everything. Just as a kind of a quick reminder of what my training looks like. So I go 2 to 3 times a week, and I would say 90% go to 90% of the time of all my training I go to fundamentals classes, right? So they offer an advanced class typically around 6 p.m. most nights, and then the fundamentals class at 7 p.m. and which is like primarily white belts, blue belts, stuff like that. And I'm good with going to that. One of the hard things for me personally, I've talked about this previously in episodes, is the 6 p.m. is a little bit more challenging to get to, mostly because of my commute to work. Do I think I could swing it if I adjusted a little things? Probably, but it'd be cutting it extremely tight. And to be honest with you, we've kind of built a little bit of like a community in the fundamentals class, and I just really enjoy going to that. I love, getting to train under that coach and everything, even though he encourages me to go to other classes. And I love all the coaches and professors in the gym. It's just easier and it's more streamlined for me to be able to go. And I know jiu-jitsu is not about either of those things being streamlined or being easy, but it works for me, and that's okay too. So anyway, so last night was, we were working on a number of things of getting out of a person's closed guard and standing up, and how you have a couple different options. I'm not going to even attempt to use the technical names because I still don't remember them all, but we talked about different things you can do, different options you have, how you can go to omoplata, balloon sweeps, just regular sweeps, all kinds of stuff. And then we did some live drilling is what I will call it, where it's a little bit just more resistant, and it's not like the full-on sparring. But then we actually did some sparring last night, and that was actually a good time. We have one guy, he's been doing judo a lot lately. He just competed in his first judo tournament, and I got to go against him last night, and I definitely, from the stand-up, definitely got to see, that was horrible English, got to see him trying to enact that, and he's pretty good. He did not full-on throw me, but I can definitely tell it's starting to come together for him. And even though he's super experienced with jiu-jitsu, he's probably on his way to purple really, really soon, 4-stripe blue belt. His judo is pretty new to him, I think, but the way that this guy trains is he's got intensity. He's a very intense trainer. He's a lot of fun to roll with because he's going to try different things. But yeah, he definitely was trying to, he definitely had that hybrid going last night of judo and jiu-jitsu and everything. So it was pretty cool to see. Excuse me. But and then we had a purple belt in there with us last night, and he just absolutely destroyed me last night. There was one round where we were doing the active drilling, and he had me in his closed guard, and I was going to try to escape, and he got the sweep in like 5 seconds, and that was just a little disappointing because, it's jiu-jitsu. It's just that beauty of jiu-jitsu is as soon as you think you've got it figured out, as soon as you think you know a technique that works, and it worked 100 times before, there's going to be one person that knows that technical difference, and it's going to work, and it's going to put you on your butt, and it's going to make you just be in a position that it doesn't work like it did before. And I think that's one of the great things about jiu-jitsu is as soon as you feel like you've made it, it's going to humble you. And so I think just to have something in your life it's that good, I think, is just really, really important. So but other than that, it was a good class. it was a pretty busy class going into Thanksgiving week and everything like that. And we just had some absolute monsters. We got some bigger guys in our classes, like I would borderline say like heavyweights, and which is a good thing. They're solid, really really solid. But we got one guy, and I won't throw in the last names. I don't even think I know his last name. We just all know each other's first names. But we got a guy in there, and he's a really big dude, and he's built like a linebacker, and he's massive. He's a one-stripe white belt, and he's just a solid dude, kindest dude in the world. But we went into sparring last night, and I definitely felt that difference between technique and power. This buddy of mine, he's so powerful. I mean, good Lord, just like throwing you all over the mat and everything. And eventually I went to go to do a sweep on him, and it failed. And so I ended up trying to get him in a guard at that point, pull guard at that point. And I don't do that very often. I like trying to go for throws and takedowns and stuff like that. But I couldn't get in, and I was afraid to get too close. And it was just a dangerous game to play. And so when we got there and everything, eventually he was able to get on top. And just the raw power of it, I was like, oh my gosh. I was creating frames where I could create frames, but it was exhausting me. It was exhausting him. I was able to keep knee shields and stuff like that between us, but it was just wearing me out to get there, and I couldn't seem to lock anything in. So I think that's a humble reminder, if you will, that technique, really really focus on technique, because and of course hindsight is 2020, but looking back at it, there were some triangle opportunities, there were some sweep opportunities, there were a number of things there that I just got so caught up in the moment that I let myself overlook those important things. And I'm very thankful to have training partners like that make me grow like that and offer that unique experience. That same purple belt, once he got that sweep, almost immediately when we started, I knew that I had to change it up. I had to mix it up. And so I changed my approach. I was a little bit more cautious, and then we went to sparring. And he was my last round for sparring, my last partner for sparring that last night. And he immediately pulled guard. We started standing, and then he pulled guard. I haven't encountered a whole lot of people that do that. And I think it was really important that I did, because typically what I want to do is I want to go in for a throw, and I like to go for collar drags. It's like my go-to move. Don't tell anybody, just potentially everybody that would listen to this, but collar drags are my jam. And I went to go for it, and he sat down, and I was like, shoot. And so I don't practice like Toriando passes and all that stuff near enough for me to go up against this guy. He's so technical. He's so good. His cardio and conditioning is great. And his technique is really good too. And so we're rolling together and everything. And he's like, I'm trying to find an opening, trying to find an in, something, letting him come to me, anything. And he's like, eventually, he's like, come on. He's like, you got to work the timeline. He's like, you got to come in. He's like, and he was 100% right. Initially, it caught me off guard, but he was super right on that too, because in a tournament, for example, if they pull guard, if they go down, you still got to go in. And so what I did was, instead of approaching him kind of from the side, because what I think he was going to do was he was going to hook my ankle, and he was going to probably do a number of bad things to me at that point once he had that, because I kind of was going to go from the side. What I did was I approached towards his leg, so I re-angled myself, because at that point I'm a lot quicker than he is on my feet. And I grabbed his gi, I grabbed his ankles, the cloth by his ankles, and I did my Toriano pass, and it surprisingly worked. I was able to get his knees together, so I faked left, went right, kind of thing. That was the exact opposite of what I just did. I faked right, went left, and I got his knees down to my left, his right, and then I was able to, I kind of used my ankle to pin his ankle down, and, naturally he knew how to frame, and, he changed his angle and it did something. But we kind of went to like a north-south position, and I had him in a modified guillotine, or I call it survival mode. It was just me trying to hold on. So I have his neck right here, and we're in kind of a north-south, and I was trying to, eventually I wanted to kick out to go to a full mount, but the buzzer rang. But yeah, it's crazy, that dynamic. And, I love rolling with, purple belts, brown belts, black belts too, because you forget how technical they are. And I know he's holding back against me. He had to have been. I've seen this dude roll before, and with the amount of experience he has. But it's crazy how technical this all gets the further along you go. So I love jiu-jitsu for that reason too. Sometimes when you get to roll with people of that caliber, people of that skill set, you get reminded really quickly of how incredible technique can be, and how proficient it can be, and how great it can be. And so I think it was just a really good round, really good episode of, really good class episode. I was reading over here, I said episode, but yeah, good class, all that good stuff and everything. As far as off the mat, it's Thanksgiving week. It's one of my favorite weeks. We're hosting some people here. If you don't have a place to go, the door is always open. There's always going to be a seat at the table. But I'm really excited. I love Thanksgiving. I know it's some people, I guess, don't celebrate it as much as I thought we did growing up. Thanksgiving was always like a really big deal. And as I get older, people are just like less and less excited. Maybe it's all the cooking and everything, but I love doing all the cooking on Thanksgiving. Like, I wake up super early. I watch stuff and turn stuff on, listen to music and everything, and I'm just going, right? I have lots of coffee to support the event and everything. So we're going to host and have some really good food, provided that I don't mess it up. I might be a white belt on the mats, but I'm like a solid 2-stripe brown belt in the kitchen. That was probably a drastic over-exaggeration. But anyway, hope that you guys are doing well. I hope everything's been, I hope that you guys get lots of good food. And unless you're preparing for a tournament, then I hope that you get enough food and all that good stuff and everything. This is kind of a new setup for me as far as recording. It's been really good. I love kind of getting to do this. The screen's over here, but the camera's over here. So the majority of the time I'm going to try to talk here, but every once in a while I'm going to look here. Tonight I am getting to do an episode with a friend of mine who opened a gym down in Pensacola. I got to train down there, and that was a huge honor. And he just opened up a new location, and I'm excited to get to pick his brain and share with him and talk with him about that experience and what that looks like and everything. So incredible individual, one of the hardest workers of all time. What he's trying to do, what he is doing, and what he believes in, his jiu-jitsu philosophies and principles and everything. And so we're going to do that interview tonight after his last class. And I've been wanting to do that interview with him for a while, so I'm extremely honored and humbled to do that. And that's going to be a really, really good episode. And especially with this kind of streamline and everything and the way that we're doing it, I think that this is going to be a really good episode. And using the platform that I'm using, I know initially I said that I was going to get away from Spotify and everything, but I did kind of set it up that this is easy. So Spotify is back on the table, YouTube's back on the table. Doing it like this gives me one single file to upload to multiple stuff. It's not streamlined quite that efficiently, but it is pretty simple nonetheless. And so it makes it pretty easy to do overall. And so I will say that I am cool with updating and uploading this to as many platforms as I possibly can. But yeah, I use Riverside personally for recording, and I will say that it is pretty streamlined. It's pretty effective. I appreciate it for that sense. So if you guys ever want to start a podcast or you're ever thinking about doing a podcast, it's definitely pretty great in that regards. And I definitely highly recommend you guys give it a shot and check it out and everything. But anyway, so if you guys haven't been able to tell lately, I'm kind of mixing it up. There's going to be a little bit of stuff every once in a while where, I talk about life off the mats versus just on the mats. And eventually I would love to, turn Don't Forget to Tap into something so much more than just a jiu-jitsu podcast. But right now that's where I'm at with it, because that's what life looks like. But I think Don't Forget to Tap is, it started as one thing, and I think it's slowly evolved into another. Don't Forget to Tap originated as, don't forget to tap. Don't be afraid to tap. Don't be afraid to reset, because there's so much knowledge, there's so much power in that tap, right? The power to get back, try again, and try from experience. And I think that's really impressive, really incredible. I love that aspect of it. But I think also what Don't Forget to Tap has also, as far as meaning, turned into for me is don't forget to tap into the best parts of yourself. Don't forget to tap into your potential. Don't forget to tap into who you are as a person, the best version of yourself. And I think that carries so much weight, so much gravity in life, and I love that aspect of it. So I hope that you guys are doing really well. I hope that you guys are tapping into the best versions of yourselves, and that you guys are out there crushing it and killing it and training hard. And hope that this episode turns out. I'm trying a new setup. I'm actually doing my Osmo Pocket 3 is acting as my webcam right now. I love the resolution. I love the clarity on it. And it's just been really good. So I will catch you guys later. I'm looking forward to doing another episode tonight, making some more Instagram reels for you guys. And I got to go to work. Well, actually, I got to go to the gym. Then I got to go to work. But maybe later I'll update you guys on the journey. My wife and I have about 90% cut out processed foods. We did have a little bit of some cheat meals on Saturday, but nothing too extreme, nothing too crazy. So give you guys some updates on that. That way, if you guys are out there training, looking to change it up, I can give you what it's done for us so far and just kind of let you know what that's looked like. So anyway, before I start rambling again and everything, I hope that you guys are doing well. Hope that you guys are training hard. Hope that you guys are living the best life ever. I hope that you have a great Thanksgiving. I'll probably do a Thanksgiving episode. And if all else fails, don't forget to tap. Bye, guys.